Ladies, gentlemen, let the show begin. Alright, do you like video games? And I know you do. What about entertainment? We got that too. Video game, I'm not a video game. Video game, oh no, what's the name? Video Game Armada. Time for another edition of Let's Review. And of course, this is the one Tron the Gamer Boss Bronze. It's E3 day! Or E3 days? E3 week? I don't know. E3 is here again. Yes, it's just like a second Christmas. But instead of celebrating the life and times of great Jesus Christ, we now are celebrating the awesomeness of video games. And I love it, and I love it, and I love it. So, and so I could not wait for this year to begin, because the year of 2017 may be known for a lot of things, but in the gaming community, shoot, this year is aces, man, aces. So what do we have for the kickoff of E3 this year for the press conferences? Why, of course, EA. Some of you consider it the evil empire. Other you consider it a video game company of sorts. Both may be true, both may be false, but no matter what, they crank out the games, and I couldn't be any more happier because of that. They're definitely one of my favorites. You may disagree, but in my eyes, they do all right. They're fine. So, what did they have for the show? Well, last year I usually would just do like, you know, let's watch of the show itself. You know, my commentary, make me trying to be funny while you watch stuff you already watched like probably a million times. But then I realized that's a lot of work, and that's a lot of compiling, and it gets hot in the editing room, and I don't have time for that right now. I just want to play video games and watch shows. And then I decided, why not just review the press conferences individually instead of just watching them with the people at home? Easier for you, quicker for you, and more beneficial for them, i.e. you guys at home. Because, hey, we all got stuff to do, and you'll probably watch E3 in your own time, but this gives you a chance to see how they did in a quick, you know, let's say 10-minute interview. So let's get on with it, with the Let's Review of EA's press conference. How did they do? Meh. I mean, it wasn't bad, but I sort of expected more. I mean, EA's umbrella for games is huge and all incorporated. That's why people hate them so much, because they have their hands on literally most things under the sun when it comes to video games. But this time, they were a little muted. They were small. I mean, I'm sure this press conference is going to make some of you guys happy. I mean, they highlighted a lot of sports, and they introduced their new Madden, they introduced the new FIFA, I'm sure they did some other sports related thing, but this time they focused on something that you don't really focus on sports games. A story mode, that's right. The new Madden and I believe the new FIFA will highlight their new story modes, where you come from like some, you know, ragamuffin street from nobody to the upper echelons of sports, and depending on your choices, etc., you are a good sports guy or a bad sports guy, or at least it tells a good story. I'm all for stories, and that's great in, you know, the sport arena of football and American football, aka soccer. We'll see how they do. However, EA just didn't focus on sports games. They also focused on one of their more hotter properties, the Battlefield series. More to the point, Battlefield 1, as they announced their newest DLC coming out soon, In the Name of the Tsar, which offers 6 new maps, the Russian army, some story mode stuff, and operations. Again, for me, Battlefield, a little dry, a little boring, too long, and the multiplayer, if I wanted to just walk endlessly, you know, bore out of my mind until someone shoots me in the face from a million yards away, I go play PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I don't got that to do for that game, and I certainly don't have it for this game. But hey, this is for you, Battlefield Elite. Go at it and do some research and watch the EA conference for that segment, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. There's a lot of beefy information in there. And of course, Need for Speed also made it to the show today with its latest title announced, Need for Speed Payback, which, in my personal opinion, is just like Need for Speed Most Wanted, but with a little Burnout thrown in, added Fast and Furious, you know, for taste. Though, you know, to be completely honest, if I was Need for Speed creator and I saw the Fast and Furious, any one of them, I said, hey, you copied off our property, you mook. Give me money. Now, right here, in the hand. You owe me. You owe me. You talk to The Rock. He'll kick up some money too. Give me that money. Give me that money, Fast and Furious. You ain't nothing without Need for Speed. As for me, this looks interesting enough. I do like fast cars. I like them better with rocket launchers attached, but, you know, it's not perfect. And I probably would pick this title up whenever it came out. But I've heard rumors and scuttlebutt that the Crew's coming back. Oh, in the sequel, Crew 2. I didn't have a chance to play it to its fullness when the first game. My mistake. I won't make that the same mistake again for the sequel if it's true. That's the one I'm aiming for, but Need for Speed fans, Payback looks like it's going to be a real fun winner. Now, what EA had to semi-end the show, and I'll get to that in a minute, was, of course, their biggest heavy hitter, for now anyway, Star Wars Battlefront. Now, you can say a lot of things about the 2015 version of Star Wars Battlefront. It definitely has its pluses and minuses, but I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, and this is coming from a Star Wars guy here, and yes, admittedly, a video game apologist, I'll admit it, I'm a nice guy, and I like to defend games, especially games I like, to the bitter end. But I just could not defend the 2015 Battlefront from the 2004 Battlefront or the 2005 Battlefront, now that I think about it. Those two Star Wars Battlefronts were superior. Star Wars Battlefront 2015 was inferior. And I'm not the only one to say so, for a lot of different reasons. For me, it was just like Battlefield slapped with some Star Wars in there, and they called it a day, more or less. Be that as it may, that game was one of the most realistic and beautiful games I've ever seen on a current generation console. It was like almost drop my eyes out of my mouth and put them out of my mouth and back into my eye sockets. That was so pretty. It was so pretty. It was so pretty when I pinched those chubby little cheeks. But other than that, it was mediocre at best. Well, what am I going with this? They announced Star Wars Battlefront 2, and they promised more dynamic battlefields, more high-action areas, more varied of armies. My Separatist droid army in there, and that made me happy. That was my favorite army. You guys say what you will about the prequels. You'll even say what you will about the droid armies. They may have funny voices, but you know what's not funny about them? Them shooting you in the face if you're not a Jedi. If you're a Jedi, well, you know, it's hard to shoot a Jedi. But when you're a droid and you're just some random soldier scrub, good luck not trying to get yourself blasted a bit by a cold, unfeeling machine. Anywho, they promised the moon up above about this new Star Wars Battlefront 2, which includes a story mode. Gasp! Is it possible? Is it possible? I don't know. They said it's possible. They even had the main voice actress claiming that it's going to be good, man. I'm in it. And I'm willing to believe her on hotness alone. Why the heck not? But the only true way to find out is to play it myself and find out, which I can't do until the game comes out. But what they did to, again, semi-end the show, and again, more on that in a few seconds, is they had a 30-minute long 40-player Battlefront 2 campaign on the stream. Yay! Which showed the highlight of PvP where all the people were shooting lasers up, down, left, and right, and even had, you know, what do you call those? So I guess they're not TIE fighters, they're not, you know, X-Wings or Y-Wings, but, you know, spaceship support, the help on the skies. and from what I saw, it was pretty cool. I wanted to see more classes. I mean, I know that at least the droid armors had those rollerball death machines. I didn't see those, and hopefully they weren't stricken from the game. But from what I saw, they were fast and dynamic, and battling on Naboo is always fun. But of course, if you do especially well, which I saw in the 30-minute demo playthrough, you get to unlock a hero class, such as Darth Maul, and Boba Fett, and Han Solo, those 2 out of the 3 were not on Naboo at the time. But, it's a video game. I'll ignore some, you know, space-time inaccuracies for fun gameplay mechanics. But from what I saw there, it looks like a solid choice. I hopefully, cross my fingers here, it's not just going to be another Battlefield experience with some Star Wars. It will be more like the original Battlefield back in the early aughts. And if it is, then we got ourselves a brand new Star Wars winner. You can't have enough Star Wars, especially if it's good. Now at this point, you're probably asking yourself, did EA have anything original in this stream? Well, I gotta tell you, they had two original titles, which is a little sad, but I'll save that for the end of my summary of the press conference. One new title they announced was called A Way Out, which is basically a get-out-of-jail simulator. But the gimmick is, it's co-op. So you're technically going to need 2 people to play this game? I don't think so. I mean, let's face it. I mean, internet is everywhere. You can connect with other players from half across the world, yada, yada, yada. But sometimes internet is not available, and sometimes you don't have your best friend, or your wife, or your kids, or your brother, or your mother, or your sister, or your uncle, and say, hey, get over here and help me break out of jail. Sometimes you gotta do things solo, and I'm willing to bet that they have a solo feature on here. But from what I can see, there was no solo feature to be had, so more details will be needing incoming. But basically, 2 guys gotta break out of jail for unknown reasons. Madcap shenanigans ensue. The other one is a little bit more interesting if I have nothing else to say, but it looks interesting. It's called Anthem, and they are developing it along with my boys, BioWare. Oh, baby. It looks very good. I don't know anything about it. It looks very cool. And it looks like it has something to do with giant fighting robots. My guess, anyway. It's way too vague, so speculation is through the roof here. Fortunately, and/or hopefully, all my questions and excitement can be answered tomorrow. Why? Because the official gameplay reveal will be tomorrow at the Xbox E3 briefing. So, I'm going to take extra special notes on that one, and hopefully it's going to be the next Titanfall 3 or something. I don't know, it may not be, but if it is, whoo boy, it just makes me excited. Which, I'm sad to say, that was the only one. For the review, for the rating, I'm going to have to give this an it's okay for EA. I expect better out of EA. EA is like the company. It has like 75% of good games on lockdown, despite what haters will say or the rumors. They do, they really do. And this show was not even at the end of an official show. They kept going on with various other elements that are very familiar to, like, Nintendo Treehouse events, where they're showing various people talking to various developers or no-names about this upcoming game they just highlighted in the show, showing people playing it, all that sort of thing, and even ended up with a marriage proposal at the end of there, which was, you know, nice and all, but this is kind of E3, and I want to get with the nitty-gritty of games. Games, throw them at me. Throw all the games at me. Give me information. Give me something to be excited. Give me something to save my money away and become destitute until it comes out. None of that happened this time for EA. I don't give it a lower score, however, because despite my personal proclivities, I I saw that they did highlight a lot of sports game features and extras. That if you're into sports games, this is right up your alley between basketball, soccer, football. It's like story mode abound. Plus, they're adding DLC to Battlefield, which is great for people who like Battlefield, and hey, Star Wars Battlefront 2. That hopefully will be just like its predecessor, which is good and fun and enjoyable, and I spend many hours playing that. But despite all of those, and again, my own personal bias here, I just didn't see anything that made me turn my head, grip my palms, and get me searching like 5 different sites on what they thought about this new announcement other than Anthem. It was just more or less the same thing they've always done, as the cash cow. This is the cash cow press conference. It didn't have anything truly original in there. I'm not even counting the Prison Break simulator. And with Anthem, that's going to be more like an Xbox thing instead of its own. So, I'm sorry to say, because it had nothing really new and exciting and gripping the show, just more of the same, but, slightly better, it just gets an okay. That doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's okay. And this is One Drama Gamer Boss Wands telling you to stay tuned for the next E3 Let's Review. Until next time, take care.